Support comes from Gemma, architects, planners, and designers seeking to bring joy to their clients and communities. Details at gemastl.com.
This is St. Louis on the Air from St. Louis Public Radio. I'm Elaine Cha. In 2015, Misty Copeland made history at the American Ballet Theater when she was promoted to its highest rank as the company's first Black woman to be named principal dancer. It was a milestone in the prestigious company's 75-year history. And in the 10 years she's filled that role, Copeland has drawn so many people into the world of ballet as audience members and dancers that there's a phenomenon named after her, the Misty effect. It's a force that's been felt all over the world. St. Louis is no exception. So it's no wonder that this week, when Misty Copeland announced her retirement from American Ballet Theater after 25 years with the company, there was local response to that news. Erica Hill is the founder of Pointe of Surrender, a dance company in Florissant that teaches a broad range of dance that includes ballet. She joins us now to describe her reaction and what the Misty effect has been like in St. Louis. Erica, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So that news, where were you when you heard about Misty Copeland's retirement, and what were your first thoughts?
Yes, actually, I was at home. Typically, some days I don't have that much access to news and that kind of thing, so I'm catching up on news for the day. And I was a little taken back, but at the same time, I felt a sense of fulfillment in her journey because she has impacted so many generations to come, youth and adult all over the world. So she has fulfilled such purpose in that role. It's almost like as a dancer, you understand, okay, she's taking a breather. She's entering in a different season of life. So it was, one of reflection, but also one of rejoicing for her.
Appreciation, too.
Yes.
So we noted in the intro that Misty Copeland became principal dancer at American Ballet Theater in 2015, and she was the first Black woman ballet dancer to be selected for that position. If we go back to that time, do you remember what it was like to learn that she was promoted to such a prominent role?
Yes, it really shifted my life and my view of and my scope of purpose. So dance has always been a part of me. It's always been something that I loved, that I knew, that I was drawn to. But with this position and this role with Misty, it opened up a sense of hope, of a higher standard of excellence, a higher space of reaching for this goal. And all I could think about is introducing young dancers to the hope of the same.
We want to hear from you as well. Do you have a personal connection with ballet? Were you inspired by Misty Copeland's making it big in this particular way? You can join the conversation by calling 314-382-8255. That's 314-382-TALK. You can also email us at talk@stlpr.org. Now, in 2015, Erica, you are already 5 years into running your dance company, Pointe of Surrender, and that's Pointe.
Yes.
And so 2010 is when you started this company.
Yes.
What kind of buzz was there at the studio when Misty was promoted?
Yeah. So it was a hopeful buzz, like, oh my goodness, I identify with this. Oh my goodness, I can see myself in this role. Oh my goodness, I want to work harder. I want to take more classes. So it was from parents and students such just a refreshing love for dance and passion after studying and training in dance. It's like she, sometimes as a teacher, you're giving inspirational words and speeches, and, you can do this, you can do that, but to see it in action, oh my goodness, it overwhelmed the hearts of our dancers.
Yeah. So 5 years you had this dance company. Rather than seeing the Misty effect sort of start things off, was it a point of acceleration?
Yes, definitely, definitely. So ballet has always been one of our foundational classes, and as a young studio starting out, you don't immediately start off with dancers on point, right? You're growing your students from young, you're developing them from, novice ballet dancers to intermediate to advanced. So it wasn't something that was overnight that we had dancers on point. But seeing Misty, it got into the hearts of our dancers, and they worked so hard, and we began to see classes of advanced dancers on point. So it really accelerated us in the space of ballet.
Understanding that everybody's pace of development is different, is there a typical number of years that it takes to go from the soft slippers to on point?
Yeah, so we see there's a range. So you'll have some dancers who start, between the age 5 to 7, and they're taking combo classes, that contain ballet. But typically, it's around age 8 that we at our studio we require a singular ballet class, a full 1-hour class, so dancers get a full range of, bar expectations and center floor work and that kind of thing. So typically you see dancers, they may start at age 5 or 6, and we consider them for point at around 11 or 12, just based on their strength. But there are some dancers that may come to us, and maybe they start ballet training at 10, but the acceleration is different per dancer.
Right. And I understand that Misty Copeland actually started like 13.
13, yes. I share this with dancers all the time, because a lot of times in the dance world you hear so much, I've been dancing since I could walk, or I've been dancing since I was 3, but everyone's journey is different, and we have to appreciate our own journeys. And it's beautiful. I love this book, Bunheads. We read it to our students all the time, but it just talks about how her coach saw a gift in her and coached her and helped her to accelerate to this point. So age wasn't a factor or a barrier for her becoming who she was. Yeah.
I'd like to know a little bit more about you. Where and how did your own dance journey begin?
Yeah. So I would say myself, I've loved dance since I was young, but I'm not a dancer that can say, oh, I trained since I was age 3, right? So I have not many, but a few different studio experiences, but I would say my most impactful experiences were one being Catherine Dunham Center for Performing Arts over in East St. Louis, where I studied ballet and Dunham technique. Those were, foundational dance pieces for me, as well as West African and things like that. And I always have to send love to my teachers at that time, the late Theo Jamison and Miss Andrea Smythe. We're still in contact to this day, but they saw a gift in me, and they helped to accelerate me in ballet and Dunham, and also jazz and other pieces of dance.
So by the time you got to the late 2000s, and you were helping to teach sort of all through your teen years and through college, was there something that was happening in the late 2000s that got you thinking about starting your own dance company?
Oh, yes, definitely. So I tell anyone, dance saved my life. Dance changed my life. It helped to make me who I am today. And so Coming out of Dunham, Catherine Dunham, and that experience there, and just exploring different spaces of training in dance, I began to teach dance at my own church, at community centers, and just sharing dance with youth and adults abroad. And so while I may have been going to different locations, there was something in my heart. I know God was calling me to create a safe place where community could come, dancers could come from young and old, age 2 through adult. That's the audience we serve now, but a central location where dancers could come, they could train, have access to ballet, access to Dunham, African, jazz, different genres of dance. Whether it be for recreation or at a professional viewpoint, they would have access to this thing that freed me, this way of expression that heals me literally every day.
Yeah.
So,
And when you say safe, can you provide an example of what you mean by that and what that looks like at Pointe of Surrender?
yes, everyone is welcome. I've been in many different dance spaces, and sometimes there can be judgment based on how much you've trained or what's your background and this kind of thing. But when you come to Point of Surrender, everyone is embraced and every journey is appreciated. So what I mean by safe place is wherever you are, there's a place for you. We're going to serve you where you are. If you're a beginner, if you're intermediate, if you're advanced, wherever you are, we're here to embrace you and help you along in your journey.
Was there anything that you personally experienced, Erica, that informed the way that you've approached leading and growing Point of Surrender?
Oh, yes. I would say in my youth, especially, first places of just recognizing that there are some communities that don't have access to positive extracurricular activity, whether the access is financial, whether it's, having a way to get there, but that, many people experience barriers. And I myself, I experienced those things, but thankfully there was a way made through my parents and people at the organization of Catherine Dunham that made way for me to experience dance. So I'm always thankful for that grace and for that extra helping hand that helped me to grab hold to my purpose. So I'm very intentional in seeing other dancers wherever they are, whether in our studio or outside in the community, just really reaching out beyond what is comfortable, but serving the community as a whole wherever they are.
We're speaking with Erica Hill. She's the founder of Pointe of Surrender, a dance company in Florissant that teaches a broad range of dance, including ballet. Now, Misty Copeland was sort of the inspiration for my coming to find you. She not only had an impact in the world of ballet and dance, but she is a cultural icon.
Yes.
Misty Copeland spoke with David Marchese of the New York Times last month about her decision to retire. And during that interview, which was published earlier this week, Copeland explained why she ultimately decided to make an announcement about retiring instead of kind of fading into the background quietly.
The legacy of what I've created in terms of the way that I'm, carrying so many stories of Black dancers who have come before me. Like, I can't just disappear. I think there has to be, an official closing to my time at American Ballet Theater.
Copeland also said that what she's done in ballet has never been about her. It should never have been that Black and brown people are interested and want to be in these spaces, quote, and that seeing themselves and feeling invited and welcomed into them is what is most vital. I mean, what do you think about that, Erica, especially in the context of what you have seen and experienced, particularly in St. Louis's ballet and dance scene over the last decade and a half.
Yes, I totally agree and honor what Misty shared in that space, because as artists and dancers, studio owners, wherever we are in our perspective places, it's not just for us. We are opening the door for generations to come. And as Misty stated, her being awarded such a position, her walking out this role, it allows so many others to come after her. It allows so many others to understand, hey, I can do it as well. And I always, it's something that I communicate with our dancers. Sometimes we have dancers coming in and they've, believe it or not, some of them haven't heard of Misty Copeland. Mm-hmm. Some of them haven't heard of other, brown and black ballet dancers. So when we present, whether it be pictures or stories or books about what Misty has accomplished, it opens their world up in such a way to say, I can have a career in this. I can be an artist. And there's so many things that we, dancers can do beyond just being a principal dancer. Maybe, it's being a studio owner. Maybe it's teaching others to explore this art of dance. And we've seen, I love to talk about our instructors. We have instructors from AMDA, LA. We have instructors. We have partnerships with Ballet 314. I love. We have a long-standing partnership with Robert Poe and Rachel Bodie of Ballet 314. And Eugenia Jones, she's one of our ballet teachers at the studio now. So not only does she come in and bring that professional ballet experience, we also partner with them for auditions. Our dancers have done the Nutcracker with them at the Edison Theater. We've also partnered with Bridgman Arts as they partner with Moscow Ballet. Our dancers have also danced at the Nutcracker at the Fox Theater. So there are so many connecting pieces, just as, and I always say, it's not about us, but if we create partnerships and a network of resources, then it truly is changing the trajectory of what our Black and brown dancers land, right? So it doesn't just have to be on a recital stage. Maybe it's at AMDA in college, or maybe it's being a principal dancer in a dance company. Maybe it's being a director, of an arts organization, but our partnerships, they change the scope of where we land as dancers.
Speaking of community and resources, Pointe of Surrender's nonprofit, which is called Pointe of Surrender Healing Humanity, got its start in 2018. What is the North Star for this nonprofit?
Oh, goodness. It's all about healing. And it's all about tearing down barriers. So first and foremost, I experienced barriers that I never want other dancers to experience. So our motto at Pointe of Surrender is that we won't turn a dancer away. So how can we, fund and support our community in a way where finances aren't a barrier and location access is not a barrier. And so that is the start of healing the connectivity within our community. So our nonprofit, we service our public schools, public and private schools. This past season, thankful to RAC funded us with a grant that helped us to reach schools in the Hazelwood District, in the Riverview District, and the Ferguson and Florissant District. And we also serviced Freedom School, a private school. And so this allows us to bring dance right on their campus. So we're able to teach ballet. We're able to teach lyrical, jazz, different genres of dance, just so students, they have the opportunity to say, hey, I love ballet, or hey, I like hip hop a little bit more. But it helps them to find their own expression. There's no cost. And the parents don't have to worry about how am I going to get my student there. They stay right after school. We come and service them. And so beyond just dance alone, I'm a witness, and I'm sure dancers all over the world can attest to this, that dance is healing. As we move, whether we're breathing, whether we're walking, or whether we're spinning, turning, leaping, kicking, there is something that movement does for the body. It really heals us and allows us to release stresses and pressures from the day. And so when we go into the schools, we understand that kiddos, they have testing, they have assignments, they carry their own stress, just like we as adults do. So whether, an adult may go to Pilates or a bar class, well, we come into the schools and we talk about how they're feeling. We talk about what they're carrying, and we help them to release it through movement. And it's the most powerful thing that I see every day. I'm inspired by the kiddos that I see. They're able to express where they are, release where they are, and speak positively about what they're experiencing in the sessions. So,
Erica Hill is the founder of Pointe of Surrender Dance Company in Florissant, Missouri. Erica, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
This episode was produced by Emily Woodbury.
Audio engineering and podcast design by Aaron Dorr.
Our executive producer is Alex Hoyer.
St. Louis on the Air is a production of St. Louis Public Radio. Understanding starts here.
Do you find yourself regularly listening to episodes of St. Louis on the Air? Suggest us to a friend you think might enjoy our conversations. And leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts on the App Store. It's the simplest way to help people discover our show. Thanks.
St. Louis Public Radio is a member-supported service of the University of Missouri St. Louis.
The Gateway brings you the day's news each weekday from around the St. Louis region and the state capitals in Jefferson City.
Our schools are accredited. We don't need this bill.
And Springfield.
How many more years must pass before lawmakers see time is of the essence?
I'm Abby Larico. Join me each weekday for The Gateway on the STLPR app or wherever you get podcasts.